Hey, it's your main man Sam Goodie, and I want to welcome you to the Sam Goodie Podcast, where I myself, along with the Goodie Gang, help you find the good in every bad. So no matter where you are in life, at times it gets a bit heavy, but hold steady and get ready. It's the Sam Goodie Podcast, where we help you find the good in every bad. Hey, yo! What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? It's your main man Sam Goodie. Sam Goodie. I really been in my emotions lately. I really have been. But intentionally. Intentionally, I've been in my emotions. Because for a long time, I hadn't been in my emotions. Shit, I didn't even know what emotions were. I just knew at times I felt the kind of way. But lately, with being present, I have really been in my emotions. And I know that being being a present person now, self-aware, a present person now, being in my emotions teach me a lot about myself. And I think in this phase of my life, I'm trying to learn more about myself so I can know when situations come, I kind of got a sense of how I'm going to respond to it. I'll say it that way. You know, back in the gap, people my age say, back in the gap. Oh, man, I would just keep it moving. Never thought about emotions, but then I would start reacting in a certain kind of way. And I'm like, yo, and I never thought about why I did it. But when you would get responses from people that are close to you or people that your actions affect, you're like, well, I think you tripping. I don't think necessarily now I don't think they were necessarily tripping. I think I was just kind of more so on go mode. I was just moving and grooving, like not really just caring about what was going on at that time. And I think for me, to be honest, I think it equated to me running from things, running from things in life that I wasn't trying to face. And even with that, I don't think it was intentionally that I was running. I think it was just clearly like, hell, I didn't know what the hell was going on. So let me move. Let me keep moving. And hopefully over time, these things would just wash away and don't affect me. Well, later on in life, I learned that was a lie. I learned that was a lie, man, because damn show, the more older you get, the wiser you become, the more in tune you become with yourself, or the more tune I wanted to become with myself. I started to wanted to become a better person. So I can do things, I can work and do things like that, compartmentalize certain things, but I never really paid attention to when things affected me, my emotions that came with it, the emotions that came with it. So, hell, now I know I'm not a robot. I got feelings and emotions, but it's people in places now that they probably would not care to be if they would have knew how to handle their emotions properly. So I think it's the emotional intelligence that I'm having now while I'm practicing being present. And I think for me it's a great place to be in. And it's like I'm learning myself all over again. I'm learning myself all over again. And it's honestly, it's a good thing. But when you can't explain your when you can't explain the emotion side of things, it's like, shit, I really don't know how that works now. You dig what I'm saying? I don't know how it works when you can't explain how you feel. So it's kind of important. Well, let me not rush through this. I started being around certain people that were able to allow a safe space on when I feel a certain kind of way, or even if they was feeling a certain kind of way, they'll start expressing it, and they'll be like, "Yo, me too." You know what I mean? Like, we all have conversations with our close buddies and friends, and they start expressing stuff. People that are able to express themselves and freely, and they don't worry about what other people say. Those kind of conversations allow people to come outside and be like, you know what, me too. And as conversations progress, you start having multiple conversations. You're like, yo, I feel the same way. So, not to linger on that part a lot, being present now, wanting, as I become better and better every day, um, man, I have to deal with my emotions a lot because I deal with a lot of things that need me at 110% at all time. And I'm not going to say it needs me. I care to be 110% and give 110% with anything that I'm involved in. But at times I don't feel like I give it that much, and I get hard on myself. But I think what happens in the midst of that, why I can't give it, is because hell, my emotions be all over the damn place, right? My emotions be all over the place. And it may not even be with that particular thing at the time. It may be because hell, I got emotions over here. And then it spills into this because they all intertwine. So that's when you become that's when your emotions get the best of you, when you're not able to express them, when you're not able to articulate what you're actually feeling, and then having a safe space to actually have those conversations in. You dig what I'm saying? So now that I understand that, I welcome I welcome conversations like that. I try to more so initiate conversations like that because I know for me, when I'm around my friends and things like that, I'm not gonna say I base the conversations around. I really listen to it, but 9 times out of 10, things that I communicate with people about are things I'm very interested in, and they are too. Like, like-minded people, they are too, and we're able to actually navigate that in that area of whatever we're discussing at that time. And lately, it's just been emotions. So, as I was saying a second ago, there's a lot of things that I'm involved with that I have to give 110%. So, and knowing that in life everything ain't gonna be perfect, right? We know it's not gonna be perfect, but shit, in my mind, you gotta being present. You have to. I want to deal with it now and not later, and that's not true. I'm learning now that, man, sometimes you just gotta let things play out. You have to let things play out, but you also have to be able to control your emotions. So I'm in a space where I'm having to learn to control my emotions because I'll tell you guys where it really come from. Playing sports, playing football, you got 4 quarters. And I threw a pick one time and coach is like, yo, get over that. We got to get to the next play. We got to get to the next, when we get the ball back, we got to, because if you stay stuck on that too long, you're going to be out of focus in the game. So now I have to make sure I use those things in life, those things that I learned back then playing football, You have to implement those things in life. So to not make this so long, emotional intelligence is important. It's important to be able to understand how you react, how you respond to certain things in life, whether it's good, well, don't not if it's good or bad, but see how your emotions really affect your decision making. And I think I'm indecisive on a lot of things because I don't know. I don't think I have a real grasp on the understanding of my emotions, right? Um, but I also know that I'm spending so much time in this space because I know I make great decisions, but it's hard to not make other great decisions in areas that are becoming important to me because I ain't got no control or I'm not really, I still need to kind of work on my emotions just a little bit to understand myself, right? So let me tell you, I'm excited about this space that I'm in because I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer, but I'm excited about this space because not many people I really hear talk about this shit. I curse, whatever. I don't really hear people talk about this shit. And yeah, men exactly. There are conversations that's being had now. But they're not talking about it in the sense of trying to move forward to understand themselves better for the bigger picture. So now I'm looking at the bigger picture and I'm trying to get rid of everything that I feel that is holding me back from the next level, right? So behind the scenes, you guys know I pray a lot. I talk about God all the time. Um, but the human side of me with the emotions is what really tanks at my decision making. And when I hear certain things that I don't agree with, I have to check that because it's not all about what I want and what I feel. When you're dealing with other people, whether it's, I always say it, relationships, work, this and that, you have to be able to be a partner in those things to be able to navigate through them, right? So I think with the emotional intelligence side of it, as long as I'm able to articulate what I'm saying, because many times I would be all right. So back in the gap before I knew anything about this, I would just express myself and I would just start talking. And it would sound like I'm cursing, I'm just frustrated. And that's just really because I don't know how to explain what I was feeling. So now, back then, it really wasn't costing me much to let me tell it. But now, when I'm more so present and I want more out of life, one thing I don't want to happen is me not being able to articulate my emotions, and it hinders me from evolving in life and having continuing to grow and just having good shit in life, bro. Being a good person. So I know I'm a good person. I know I do things well. I know I'm a workaholic. I know I got God in my life, but man, we all fight with that emotional side of things, and it's just a human in us. But if you feel that your emotions sometimes will hinder you and hold you back on things, I think it's really time to sit back and do some self assessment and get aware of it. Are your emotions really getting you in trouble? Are your emotions really holding you back in life? This is not just for men. This is for women too. This is humans. You know, I think about my son a lot. He came in the world with only emotions. So if you lack emotions as a parent, well, if I lacked emotions as a parent, but I have the emotion, he can't walk, he can't do all this, so I have to move him around. But his emotions, I'm like, why are you crying? And that's their way of communicating with you. And I think that was one of the first things that kind of made me start thinking about emotion because I'm like, yo, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Why you crying? I'm holding you. I just fed you. Why are you crying? We as adults still have expressions um, in ways that it may be not, it's not verbal if you can't articulate. Well, I can articulate it. And maybe y'all can agree with me. And I'm looking at the time, so I don't want to keep going long, but as long as I'm in there, I'm just going to stay in the pocket. Um, we have we tend not to communicate verbally because we can't express ourselves. We don't have the intelligence to really express ourselves to articulate how we're feeling. So we show how we feel it in actions. And that's the worst way to do it, right? Unless you're dealing with people, a company, your relationship, your siblings or whatever that can see that, man, you're acting out. And I think it's something deeper than that, right? You care to talk about it. But even with that shit, hell, if somebody meets you like that and you still can't explain it, you still not gonna be able to you still not gonna be able to articulate it or say something about it. So where do we start? And I'll just go here and say this. I'm pretty sure it was a lot of people that nudged me beforehand, back when I used to act out in actions and I couldn't explain it. But hell, you gotta really just step back if you're dealing with people that way. You gotta really step back and be like, yo, you'll figure it out because you can't take yourself off the mark to try to help somebody else with their emotions. You can make them aware of them, but if they're not willing to accept the challenge, don't burn yourself out because that emotion shit is something serious. It's something serious. And until people understand why they do things, which is a behavior versus what you do, you'll start to more so understand yourself. And I think a couple of years ago, I was having a conversation. I was like, yo, this is bigger than just what I'm doing. It's a behavior that happened. And I think I had to really get to the root of those things. And they didn't understand at the time, but now when we speak, they're like, you know what? I get it now. So sometimes you got to be able to go on that journey on your own when you want things better in life. And not that you're not getting other things out of life, but if it's hindering you or you're hesitant on certain things or you're indecisive on stuff and it's hard to make decisions, what I equate being indecisive or hard to make decisions is you have an emotional attachment somewhere. And my homegirl told me, she said, yo, you have to learn to say, forget the feelings. These ain't the term, these ain't the words she said. She said, you gotta learn to say, fuck those feelings and stick with the facts. And if you stick with the facts, it doesn't mean you don't care, but the facts are the facts. And life is about facts. So as long as you got a good heart and you're a good person, move forward in that. But it's okay to be human because those emotions are going to come. But the sooner you're able to articulate and understand yourself, you'll be a better person, not just to yourself, but to other people too. Because what I've now learned to do is, first time I've been single for a long time. And let me tell you, thank God I got to this revelation and I was able to listen to it because now I understand what the hell they were telling me. Damn. Now I'm able to understand what they were saying, not just all relationship wise. Friendships failed, not all, but you outgrow some of those things. And this wasn't just all me. This was certain people that I had to leave behind too as well because they weren't just attached. I believe in being a good person and just you reap what you sow, but at the same time, your self-assessment for you. When things go bad, there's accountability on both sides. I never played the blame game. Well, not lie, not recently. I don't play the blame game, but in areas where I kind of feel like I probably could have done better that, I don't feel the need to reach out and say it, but you grow from certain things, you know what I mean? And then you have to learn to forgive people too. But then again, you have to learn to forgive yourself. I'm real big on that. And that's been big for me too. Forgive myself for being ignorant, for not knowing those things. And now I'm just able to be like, all right, cool. I'm on a good path of continuing to be a good person, but I'm evolving now. I'm evolving now. So I feel like now I'm getting back to who I originally was. That good, innocent, good person that just know how to do business. And I do a lot of things well. So I learned a lot of things along the way. You dig what I'm saying? I'm great at what I do, but with going to the next level, it's not about really what you do. It's really about relationships that you have. Business, personal, friendships, and all of that. So you want to be a good person on top of that, but I think in order to be a good person, nobody likes well, choose your friends wisely, but be that friend that's able to come from a centered place to understand. Because I'm not going to agree with everything you do, but I'll be able to advise you on maybe you should look at it like this. And if there's no ego involved and there's no emotions involved, hey man, you might need to take that journey on your own because I did, right? And again, not everybody grows at the same time. Allow grace in that space. But with that being said, it's like, you know, emotions are crazy. They're crazy. And again, even if you're past this point in life, I'm glad I'm getting here now because I can see things totally different, right? But even if you're past this space, we're still human and we're going to revisit this. And even if you in particular don't deal with it, if you got kids, if you got siblings, you got friends, you got coworkers, somebody is not on that same frequency as you. And the worst thing we can do is expect ourselves in other people. Because when you start to understand that everybody is human and we all ride these waves and these frequencies this way, we'll be able to meet a person where they are, right? I'll give a quick analogy. Anytime I go see my son and I hadn't seen him in a day or all day or a day or two, when I see him, normally he used to reach up for me when he first started walking at 10 months, but now he's about to be 2. I make sure I go in and I kind of get on his level, like whether I get on my knees and I reach for him. Then he's super more excited because he's like, "Oh, you're on my level now." But I do that intentionally because I only want him to reach up to God. But I do that intentionally because I want to be eye level and not as being equal, but I want him to understand that, son, I'm right here with you. You dig what I'm saying? So, and this is how I do it. You can find your ways of doing things and communicating with people the way that you do, but for me, that works for me. You dig what I'm saying? So, to not rant, I just wanted to kind of talk about emotions. Don't know what this is going to sound like when I get done with it, but it felt good to me. And even if it's just one person that really understands what I'm talking about, if it resonates with you, with emotions, regardless of whatever you're going through. COVID, we just went through COVID. We go through new jobs. We go through new fatherhood, new parents, death, things like that. There are tools out there that can really help and assist you guys. Therapy, all of that. And they say, don't go to therapy just when some bad happened. You got to go in the good times too, just to kind of check in. You know, your car's still running, but you still get your oil changed. Those of you who do, you dig what I'm saying? But always check in with yourself. Always check in with yourself and know that self-care is real big. And man, for years, I ducked and dodged just because I wasn't ready for it, or I didn't know that those things were available, or I wasn't at a space where I wanted to grow. And now I'm there. I wouldn't dare come to this space now and act like I had it all or got it all together. I'm learning on the fly, but I'm intentional about my learning. And you know those people that are around me, those people who are privileged to be around me. I'll say that because I'm very particular about the people that I allow in my space. But we're all on this journey together. And I commend my friends that have listened to me back and forth, go through things. They've sharpened me. They've checked me when I was in areas where I needed to. And they've allowed me to do the same for them. So get around you some people that's going to allow you to be your true, authentic self. But when they start to give your ass some straightening, take that straightening and keep it moving. Don't take it as if who you think you're talking to. We all just want to see you all win. And me being in that space right now, it allows me to work in my gift at the highest level. I'm able to come here and speak and talk to y'all and be transparent about what I'm going through. What better form can I do? You know what I mean? I normally keep this shit to myself, be like, no, you don't know. Man, look, I don't care what you're going through in life. Find somebody to talk to that shit about because it's going to make you feel better. Never be shame about what you're going through in life because I damn sure ain't shame. I've done some great things and I'm going to continue to do some great things in life. But I'm okay with sharing my journey with all of y'all, man. And again, if it only just helped one person, that's who I'm here for. That's who I gave 24 minutes, 42 seconds to. to it. You did, to talk about my emotions, man. So with that being said, it's your main man Sam Goodie. One time for the Goodie Gang. And like I always say, I love y'all with the love of God. Y'all take care. Peace. Oh, this is Casamigos. Jesus. Peace.